Here it is, another day of mindless scrolling, letting the world dictate my every thought, my every action. I'm addicted and I don't even realize it. It's funny, my naivety. I'm confident I can think for myself, but my actions are a result of other people's thoughts, and not the good ones. Most of the time I don't even know why I reach for my phone. To fill the moments in time, to fill the boredom, to fill the unfulfilled soul. It's ironic, isn't it? Searching for depth in a place where an algorithm rewards brevity. We tell ourselves we're looking for answers, but in reality we're distracting ourselves because we can't handle the accountability that comes with truth. We think we can control who influences us, but that control only comes with awareness. The words above used to be my truth. For most, they still are. It's never been a better time in history for creatives. The resources and technology we have now allow us to bring our creations to life almost instantly. However, I think many of us have figured out this advancement in technology is both a blessing and a curse. Social media is a tool to be used by creatives, but don't be fooled. It is the best time to be a creative in history, but we still fall prey to human tendencies, which brings us to the idea of focus. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been working on a project and then received a notification which prompted you to pick up your phone? You then probably responded to that email or text message and then unconsciously made your way to Instagram and started doom scrolling, and before you know it, 20 to 30 minutes passed. Imagine doing this 5 to 6 times a day. I know I'm guilty of this. If this seems all too familiar, it's because it is. If you haven't been aware of it, it's okay. You are now. We think we control who influences us, but that control only comes with awareness. If you're not aware, then you're hopeless. If you are, then you can change. Here's an excerpt from the book The Comfort Crisis by Michael Easter. The average American each day touches his phone 2,617 times and spends 2 hours and 30 minutes staring at the small screen. If that seems gross, the study also identifies a large group of heavy users who spend more than 4 hours a day on their phones. My own habits, I typically average 3 daily hours. Let's say I live 60 more years and I keep up that pace. I'll have spent 7.5 years of the rest of my life looking at my phone. When I read this, I was terrified and became ultra conscious of my unconscious habits. This, after all, is the foundation of change. The reason I'm highlighting the significance of focus, or lack thereof, is because a deep level of focus is required to create the best work possible. Inspiration is gold for the creative, but it is elusive. You have to be ready for it, waiting at Bayside for it. It's not something you can force, and it's not something you can hang on to. It comes and goes as it pleases. If you cannot focus for an extended period of time, you will not be able to focus when inspiration hits. People's ability to focus for an extended period of time has decreased drastically. Social media plays a huge role in this. The act of scrolling itself has our focus changing every single second. The good news is focus is a muscle that can be trained with conscious effort. Here's me being transparent, which I intend to do with every video and piece of content I post. I am a filmmaker. I understand the importance of studying other people's work, especially those whose work I admire. I started to only follow accounts that help serve my career or with personal well-being. This is an amazing and liberating thing to do. I highly suggest doing it. However, even with this strategy in place, I still would come across a video I liked and I would scroll before the video even finished. That is crazy. I literally didn't have the attention span to finish watching. I was craving to see something more exciting, something new. I was craving a cheap dopamine hit. This is a problem, especially because that video could serve me in learning how to get better at my own craft. Again, the awareness to acknowledge what is stealing your focus could be the determining factor on whether you live the life of your dreams or sit idle and confused about why you're not making strides in your career. I urge every creative to implement extended periods of focus on whatever it is they are working on. Start building that muscle. It's going to be very uncomfortable at first, but your productivity and the quality of your work is going to 10x. A healthy habit I've grown into is, as I'm reaching for my phone, which most of the time is an unconscious action, I ask myself why I'm reaching for it. Is it to pass time? Is it to respond to a text or email? Odds are that, and my hope is that whatever you're creating is more important than that text and email. Or are you intentionally distracting yourself because you don't feel like doing the work? These are all good questions to ask yourself. The last question requires you to be completely honest with yourself. Sometimes it's easy to lie to yourself. I have done that so many times in my life. When you find yourself tempted to pick up your phone and you consciously resist the urge, you get a proper and healthy dopamine hit. You feel good about your decision and personal willpower. Do this enough times, and not only will you reinforce the habit, but you will produce better work because you stayed engaged in deep, focused work. Moral story is just put your phone down. Put it on Do Not Disturb. People really underestimate the power of Do Not Disturb. When I did it, people got really upset with me. And the reality is, if people want to reach you, they'll leave a message and you can always get back to them. If it's urgent and the people that are close to you know that you're trying to implement extended periods of focus, then they will double call you, which is what you have to do on Do Not Disturb. So if you are having concerns about doing that, tell the people really close to you that you're trying to do that. And if they're good friends or good family, they'll probably support you in it. Like, it's paid off so much. It's like I gained some freedom back. And if you think about it, if you really pay attention to how much you're on your phone doing meaningless stuff, you feel liberated once you see how much you can actually get done, like how much work you can actually get done, how much studying you can actually get done. We are literally slaves to social media. And I hear this all the time. Don't be a consumer, be a creator. And if you really want to take your creativity seriously, and if you really want to take being a creator seriously, it's not an option. You have to put your phone down and you have to dial in and focus. It's going to be tough. Start with 5 minutes of just not touching your phone. And for me, it was super hard. It was super hard for me not to touch my phone for 5 minutes. And that sounds crazy, but it's the truth, for me at least. And I know for a lot of other people it is as well. So the crazy thing is, I find myself touching my phone, picking it up with no notifications and hoping to be notifications, you know? And that's just like the cheap dopamine that I'm searching for to, I don't know, fill a void or just distract myself. It can be life-changing if you just don't pick up your phone, put it on Do Not Disturb, put it in a different room. That might be a good idea. I do a lot of editing, and if the phone is right next to me while I'm editing, then what should take a 30 minutes to edit something will end up taking 2 hours. And that's no exaggeration, because every time I stop to look at my phone and take my focus off the project and put it onto whatever it is on my phone, it takes me 15-20 minutes just to really get dialed back into that edit. And when you do that multiple times, that really adds up. So take control of your life. I know this is a video about focus, but it's more about regaining control of your life, because I know millions of other people are slaves to their phone. I know some people, they make money from their phones, and some people are required to be on their phones, but there's apps and settings and stuff that you can set restrictions and limits to social media usage or whatever you want to call it. So this is quite literally, you're playing with your career, you're playing with your life, you're playing with your focus, you're playing with your relationships. This is damaging all aspects of your life. So get it under control. I'm still working on it. You know, I could be a lot better sometimes, but the strategies that I've discussed in this video have worked for me. I'm not as bad as I used to, and my productivity and the quality of my work has skyrocketed. So think about it, try it. Like I said, it's going to take some time to get into a routine. It's going to take some time to build your focus up. Start with 10 minutes, start with 30 minutes, start with an hour, and then you can get a 4-hour work period or 4 hours of focus. You know, obviously, you know, 5 or 10 minute breaks, intentional breaks, not just picking up your phone because you get distracted. Intentional breaks. You can get 4 hours of solid work done. And if you really understood how much you could get done in 4 hours, if you really understood the monetary value that you could produce in 4 hours, then you would take this more seriously. So regain your focus back and creativity will skyrocket, because that is the purpose of this channel. I want to dive into the creative process, what it's supposed to look like, how we can be better at it, and eliminate everything that doesn't serve our creative process. And creativity requires focus. So let's get a grip on our focus and watch our lives change and our work. Just, man, I'm hoping that this video was helpful, and if you liked it and it was valuable, please subscribe. And yeah, I can't wait to give you guys more videos and more value, and I want to see everybody win. I think the 21st century is the century that creativity is going to be required the most. We are in a turn of an era where we're going into a digital economy, and the number one skill set to have is going to be creativity. So I hope this video was helpful, and again, subscribe. Thank you, appreciate it, love you guys. Bye.